Welcome back to another instalment of the Combat and Strength podcast with myself, Campbell,
Wong,
and Long.
It's another one.
Thanks for that.
It's another one. So I thought joining was a bit late. So my mum was a bit loud as well. But for all the listeners and viewers around the world, I just want to always thank you for the support because it's been great. We've got a brilliant show lined up this week. I'm really happy about our first ever guest in the studio, Jamie Mclean. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the beginning, in a minute. What I want to really kick off this show and talk about is something that's quite close to my heart. Bullying. Because I easy. I don't know no moves. True, I do no martial arts, innit? You know what I mean? I've got a couple of men out there, know that. You know what I mean? Squeeze the thing, I'm joking. Yeah, bullying. You know? No, it's a serious thing. You know why? Because I saw a video the other day online, and we do combat and strength, and we're surrounded by fighting people that can look after themselves. And it just struck me. There's a lot of people that can't look after themselves, and the video, the rise of the video cameras is giving reason for these young kids to go around and film people just getting their heads kicked in. There's a lot of girls that are doing this as well, which I find quite disconcerting. And I speak a lot with Wong off the record. And you've got your own story.
Yeah.
So I want to find out, how you. Firstly, what were some of the incidents that happened to you when you were younger, and how did you deal with them, overcome them?
When I'm in Vietnam, because my family is half Chinese and half Vietnamese, so if you half and half, it's a problem.
Right.
Because the Chinese don't like you, the Vietnamese don't like you. You know what I mean? So they pick on you.
So is that where it started for you? How young was you when you realised that was going to be a problem?
Probably about 7, 8.
Wow, that's young.
Yeah.
That's young. Was it at school? Was it?
No, just in the snowmobile, every day street. In school, they line you up and they pick you up, taking turn to pick you up.
You're joking.
It's disgusting, and a lot of time when I'm very young, I would carry the knife with me.
How old was you when you first started carrying a knife?
Probably around about 8, probably. And when I do carry one, I not a normal knife. I piss on it.
Wow.
So make it rusty. So that when I'm gonna dealing with them, I will hurt them properly.
Who taught you that?
Because when that time in Vietnam is the American fight with Vietnam. You know them one?
Yeah,
Vietnam War. So everything is like that.
So everybody was in a war kind of mindset. So you had tools around you to defend yourself. So is that what, obviously we've mentioned it on the show before, was that what made you start martial arts?
No. Then what happened is my father came to England. Right. And then we came to England afterward. Of course, start a new world, like be nice and everything else. But the problem is, first day at school, I got chucked out of school, expelled.
You got first day?
First day.
In England?
In England.
Right.
Wow.
Because I smacked the goddamn face in because I don't know any English.
Yeah.
And when I go to the toilet, probably my fault really. And the toilet, they got the line up that for toilet, for go to the wee.
Yeah.
And I got a small one, like fountain for drinking water.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm quite small, young. I peed on that one instead of this one. But then people come along, they think, why the hell you pee on here? On the water fountain. I don't know any English. So they smacked me, put in the toilet, and put me on the floor to beat the fucking living hell out of me. So I beat them up properly. And then the teacher come along, said, this is not the way to start the school, is it? So I got expelled. Wow. First day.
Wow,
go home.
What school was that? Call them out.
In Coston High School in Felixstowe. Yeah, Felixstowe. And then what happened is, when I go home, my father, the Chinese, traditional Chinese, they call the slut. You eat snack tonight, slut. That means a belt.
Okay.
Whip the fucking living hell out of you,
So you got expelled. You got beat up at school.
And go home and get beat up at the same time.
Wow.
So really my childhood is not very good. And because of that, then I start learning martial art. It's not because I can't, the worst thing, every time you finish school, everybody wait for you in outside, wait for you.
Yeah.
So every time I finish, I have to finish, say the teacher, I have to go early, half an hour early, I go to the toilet, I got stomach ache, I go to the toilet. But really, I want to get fucking home, half an hour early. Because everybody wait for me outside the gate.
Why was they waiting for you?
They want to fucking smack me face in.
Just because you're not English?
No, I got no idea why they want to gang up and smack me goddamn face in. I probably look ugly. I don't know, man. But every time. So that's why you can see a lot of time I cannot read or write. Yeah, I left school very young, very early. When I'm 14, I left school. Yeah,
In this country?
In this country, because I got checked out from high school. I got checked out from the normal school. Now when I'm 12, when I'm went into the high school when I'm supposed to be 16, 17, we left. 14, not even 15, go. Check out.
You weren't pissing in the water fountains at
No,
them ages, was
I
you?
think it's a problem. I don't know. I got no idea.
Still pissing in the water fountains now.
But
I see you at the O2 the other month, Wong. He's pissing in the water fountain. What is wrong with you?
See, you should have told me that before we started this podcast.
did I?
I might have had a rethink.
No, you didn't.
Did I do that? I don't flipping think so. But I think really big problem, on this kind of thing. And now,
Have you seen some of the videos with?
oh man, some of them.
What is it? What is that? Because like I said to you, I've seen a few of them over the last few weeks, and I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things that made me think. Let me bring this up on the podcast because I know your story or know part of your story. I didn't know all of it actually.
Yeah,
So I wanted to know what your thoughts were on it, and especially because the theme for today's show is bullying. We're gonna be talking to Jamie Mclean a little bit later, and if you do the research on his dad, Lenny Mclean, you'll know that he was bullied, and I think that's what kick-started a lot of the legacy that Lenny Mclean left behind. And for those who don't know who Lenny Mclean is, the Guvnor, one of the most feared men probably the hardest man
in UK.
In the UK.
Yeah.
At one point, he's no longer with us. Rest in eternal peace. He died at age 49.
That's quite young, isn't it?
Yeah, very young. Very young.
Quite young.
Of cancer. But he lived a full life, and Jamie's going to tell us a lot more about that later. Joe, you ever encountered any bullies in your life?
At school, at senior school.
Was you always quite big though at school? Because I can imagine that would put people off from bullying you.
No,
But that was the case with you.
not in my school. In my school year, I wasn't the biggest by far. I wasn't the biggest. It's probably average.
Right.
But my first year in senior school, I think your first year at senior school for any boy, probably girl as well, it's a testing time, isn't it? Because everyone's from different schools and they want to know who's who can get away with this, who can get away with that. And my school was a very mixed school, like culturally mixed.
Right. Where'd you go to school?
Ilford.
Okay.
Cannon Palmer. Catholic school,
Yeah.
very strict school,
Right.
very mixed school, a lot of Irish, a lot of blacks, lots of Asians, and only a couple of English.
Wow.
So you had to pick whether you was with the whites or the blacks or the Asians, really.
Yeah.
And then we had a group what was a bit of everyone.
Wow. Bit of London then.
Bit of London.
Like London.
So there was a lot of the people in my school. I think they still are in a time warp. I still see the same guys walking through Ilford, walking through Forest Gate with a limp.
Yeah. And
A lean, probably the same tracksuit they've had for the last 30 years. And
retro now, man.
yeah, retro, but they're in the same mentality. They're just ignorant.
They haven't moved on.
They haven't moved on.
Well, Jamie's moved on. Jamie Mclean.
Jamie's moved on.
He's about ready to come in the studio. So let's get him in because I think this is going to be probably the best interview we've done. So
And first in studio interview.
in studio.
Let's do this.
This is the Combat and Strength podcast with me, Campbell, Wong,
And Long.
Tune in every week for all things fighting, fitness, combat, and strength.
Wuss.
Right, I did say last week, and at the top of the show actually, that we had a special guest in the studio, Jamie Mclean, son of Lenny Mclean, the Guvnor. Real honour, sir.
Thank you. I like the special bit, that was nice.
No, it's a privilege, and I'm glad you're our first guest in the studio because we could have gone anywhere with combat and strength.
Yeah.
But I thought this was a nice point way to start it. Well done, Joe, for securing it, doing your job.
Thank you.
doing his job wrong.
Yeah, me and Joe
Go way back, yeah. I don't want to know about you because you're a Guvnor. So what team do you support, Joe?
I'm West Ham.
Fire!
West Ham, Guvnor. Let's not even
Never
talk
knew
about
that.
you. Who do you support, Wongy?
I don't support nobody.
That's fair enough.
And
You
I
support
don't
your
like.
wife, though, don't you?
keep it that way. But no, listen. Before we move it on, I want to keep in with the theme of how the show started today, which was bullying. Jamie, that's how your dad became famous. When I break down everything and go back to the root, it's because he was bullied by a stepfather. Why Lenny Mclean went on to to be named as the Guvnor. Would that be right?
That's 100% right. His real father died when he was very, very young, probably about 5 or 6, and then the stepfather came into the home. But what happened was, on the outside of everything, people thought it was fantastic, like his stepfather come in and took all these kids on, but inside the home, the stepfather was very, very brutal, you know, and it all stemmed from there.
Obviously, you lost your old man early. He was 49. And, you know, when I read that, I was like, he was just beginning to live. It seems. Do you know what I mean? He was just, when I say that, he lived a life, but he was just beginning to really embrace that chapter of life that was quite calm, quite progressive and positive. Whereas the years that preceded that were anything but. Tell me about your experience of you know, having Lenny Mclean as a dad.
I mean, look, it was unusual, you know. I've said it time and time again, you know. Like my friends' dads, they had normal jobs, you know, as I said before, builders and cab drivers or electricians. No, his job was violence, but he was very loving in the home. You know, he was very affectionate. You know, he was sort of, it was all outside. It was a job to him. You know, he could switch off immediately. You know, the violence was outside the home, and inside the home he was a loving father. I mean, growing up, we couldn't tell him anything because he would just fly off the handle. You know, we couldn't tell someone's had a pop at us, or you know, my mum's had a bit of road rage, or someone's had a go, because you know we couldn't tell him anything like that. And that's why you get a lot of respect out of it, because people go, "Oh, I didn't run and get me dad or do this." It just wasn't like that. But you couldn't tell him that. But you know, it was a product of his upbringing, unfortunately.
When did you realise the type of person that he was? Like, it really dawned on you who your dad was.
It dawned on me when we had a holiday down in the caravan, and I had a fight with a group of people, and just like kids playing, and the guy's dad come out and tried to hit me, and he was really trying to hurt me, and I was running towards the caravan, and my dad's obviously seen someone trying to attack me, like a fully grown man. I'm about 12 years old, and my dad's come out and just sort of, you know, unleashed hell, more like really what you'd think is hell. It was absolutely sort of terrifying, but you know, once it ended, it sort of switched off. He was completely calm, and he didn't blame me. You know, he sort of had a go at me because his tea was cold. But you know, that was sort of
that was the worst of it, was it?
Yeah, that was the worst of it. And that's basically what he was like. But you know, he you know, a lot of criticism when he died. Like, you know, he was a bit of a bully himself, but he bullied the bullies. You know, I've said it many times before. People would come to him for help, and he helped a lot of people. You know, but you don't hear them stories. Unfortunately, you only hear all the bad stuff, not the good stuff.
Yeah, no, a lot of that stuff did make the headlines, and one of the most notorious things he's remembered for is that fight with the Mad Gypsy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Rob can get that up on the screen a little bit later on, but when you look back at some of the Barneys that he had, and he was a beast, an absolute beast. Why was it that he didn't pursue a boxing career in a more conventional sense? Was it the criminal convictions? Because that's what I read, but you know, when you've done your research and all the stuff that you've done over the last couple of years, what was it that stopped him from being a professional? Because he'd have been murdered.
I mean, I think it was just trying to control him. I don't think he ever shook off that physical child abuse. So he just couldn't be told what to do. So I mean, he never laced the gloves till he was sort of 26, 27, really. You know what I mean? It wasn't, you know, it wasn't out of choice. You know, he had to do it to get a living because, like I've said before, you know, he didn't have no education, never no positive role models, and he was born in an area called Hoxton, which was a very, very dangerous area. You know, it was an old saying that we could go to their parties, but they couldn't come to ours. I mean, long before I moved out there a long time ago, but that was the sort of area he lived, and you had to fight to survive. But, I mean, look, if they would have guided him, maybe put gloves on the 11 or 12, a lot of people said he probably would have gone on and done something special, but, you know, I don't think he ever shook that sort of physical abuse off, and he was just uncontrollable, especially, I mean, he never drunk alcohol for 20 years. But when he was drinking, the mixture of it all, it was just, you know, it was just a wild, wild, wild west wherever he went. You know what I mean? It was just a crazy, crazy thing that he would get up to, and he was just nuts, really, really, really nuts.
You did, you just completed a feature documentary, and I know there's a biopic coming next year. Before we talk about the biopic, tell me about what it was like pulling together the feature documentary. Because I read that it was like dredging up old feelings for you, which I'd imagine it was.
Yeah, that was extremely hard. I mean, we was never going to do the documentary. We was always going to do a feature film. Right. So 5 years ago, Paul Van Carter and Nick Tasson come to me and said, we want to do a film. I didn't want to do a film. We'd done the book. I had a lot of false promises over the years. It was talked about for 30 years. My dad was going on and on about it most of his adult life. And I just said no. And they come back to me and said, look, get involved and we'll do it properly. I said, look, I love film. I watch a lot of films. I said, I want to bring my cousin Mike Naskew in, who helped wrote Rock and Roller. and he'd come along with it, we wrote a script, and that was it. And then a year ago, you know, we were still dragging our heels a little bit and said, come, let's just get it done, maybe 18 months ago. And then we just cracked on and just got it done. But the documentary, it was purely by accident because we just wanted to do some research and all the actors coming over, we wanted them to have a look at the documentary to just get the gist of the story of My Name is Lenny. And it just sort of gathered traction really, and it sort of, people sort of thought this would be a good documentary, so, and it sort of rolled on from there. But the thing is, from getting a documentary as you're recording it, to get it onto DVD or at the cinema, like we've got all this big package together, now you've got to go and license everything, the music, all the TV stuff. All of a sudden now, no, we never had no money, and all of a sudden now it becomes money, so you have to go and get investment in. So it's the same sort of thing as making a film, but on a smaller scale.
Right. What was the process like for you though? Because obviously you've got to recollect moments that maybe nobody was privy to, aside from yourself, and then you've got to connect dots in terms of people that knew him from yesteryear to, you know, the back end of his career. What was that like for you?
Yeah, that was extremely emotional because, you know, my mum and dad and me and my sister were very, very close. You know, just our little unit growing up, and he'd done everything for his family. You know, I was never it as a kid. You know, and to go back through that sort of, it was like.
What, never?
What?
You never hit?
Never ever hit as a kid. Wow. And he never agreed with eating children as well. If you ever see someone eating a children in the street, he would just go mental. You know, I was never ever, he never raised his hands to us. And I'd say it in the documentary because I'm quite brutally honest in it. You know, I'd say, he shouted a few times, but I mean, I've seen him shout at fully grown men and doormen, made me cry, you know what I mean? So, but no, never ever agreed with eating children, you know. And it was very hard because when you love someone so much and you're talking about them constantly and you're seeing pictures and slow-mo of them in the videos and stuff like that, you know, it was like going through the grieving process all over again, so it was really, really, really hard.
Did you learn anything that you didn't know?
I learned that he'd done a lot of good for a lot of people and it never got talked about. I didn't say too much in it in the documentary because I just didn't want to say, oh, this is a great man. I just wanted to just sort of pattern out his journey from physical child abuse to turning his life around. And it is about change, the documentary. It's about you can be born into any certain situation, no matter what, in criminality or violence, and in the end you can steer it into a positive, and that's what he done. I mean, it took him 40 years, but he did do it. I mean, he loved the acting, and he was good at acting, he really, really was, you know, and he could have cracked on and done other big things. He was going on to do big things. He signed a new agent in America, he had other stuff lined up, and unfortunately, he didn't reap the rewards of the book and Lock, Stock, because when he died, the book was #1, and Lock, Stock was #1. But, you know, from where he come from, I mean, you know, it is a little bit of an amazing local story, really.
It is. What's your story then, Jamie?
What do you mean?
What have you been up to? Because you've mentioned a couple of strings to your bow now.
Yeah.
What would you class yourself as other than just a businessman?
I would class myself, and I mean, funny enough, my wife's got her own business. When people ask me, she's got a colonic irrigation business. So
she's got what?
It's totally.
Right up again. She's a Guvnor as well.
No, she's a Tottenham fan.
Oh my gosh! You let this one?
Funny enough, I did an article for the Guardian the other day. Obviously, I'm a landlord as well, and they were saying, "What else business you got?" I said, "I don't really want to say." So what is it? I said, "Well, I've got a colonic irrigation business, a clinic." Yeah, so. Obviously, you know, I don't think you need it because you all took a lot of sense in it. But if you know anyone wants to pump up their bum, no problem.
Yeah. Does it work though? This on a health and fitness tip because this is combat and strength, of course.
Yeah, of course it does because it flushes your low carb and that. You know, it does make you feel a lot better. I mean, when actually, funny enough, when we was filming My Name is Lenny, I must have got a lot of anxiety because I felt bunged up. Right. So when I went and had one done, I felt like $1 million better. You know
Everyone says that though. Everyone.
I've had one about 15 years ago.
Joe, you've had one every year for the last 50 years.
And I've had the stockings cool round to the Rolex watch come out though.
Big chap's bracelet.
And a cut of Jack Russell, I don't know what he was up to.
So it was, I felt great after it. And I keep saying I want to go and get another one done.
Everyone says that you feel good after it.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Cleaning your toxic, innit?
Yeah, I mean, what it is a tabooish thing because you think I'm sticking a pipe up my bum, but it's only tiny, it's like a little fingertip. I mean, if you want to go and get you an extra large one.
No. You must know something I don't. See what I'm saying? You know, he's married, you know, this screwed up.
Yeah, anyone who has it done feels 100 times better when they come out. It does, because you've got meat that's stuck in your intestines for 15 years, and some people that grind their teeth, they find fillings in their sort of waste that comes out.
What do they flush it through? Is it water?
Yeah, it's just like warm water. Yeah, it's just like warm water, like sort of diluted water, sort of like.
So you'd recommend it?
I recommend it to anyone. It's really, really good.
So tell us a little bit else. You're a landlord. You've got a colonic irrigation business. Made films, documentaries. You train. You do all sorts. So what's your story in it? Like as a young teenager with Lenny as your dad, would you the typical, I'm going to go to university and study and get a job that way? Or what was you looking at? How was you mapping your life?
Unfortunately, my dad wanted that for me, and he always wanted to send me to private school when I was a kid. There was one locally in Bethnal Green, so he grew up in the East End. And I just didn't, I wanted to go where my mates went, you know, and I was interested in photography and art at school and stuff like that, but I never actually sort of fulfilled that. Like we left school at 15, 16 and we went down to Smithfield Meat Market, everyone in my family did, you know, and after that you sort of crack on, you know, you get involved in developments and stuff like that, and you do okay for yourself, but, you know, I think I found a calling in this filmmaking. I really, really enjoyed it. You know, it was one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever done. You know, but I've had loads of fun. I've owned pubs. I think Joe might come to my pub in Bethnal Green. You know, I've had scaffold businesses. I've had loads of businesses. You know, but you know, you try your hardest and see what you can do. You know, but the film stuff that I've just done. My name is Lenny in the documentary.
Yeah, let's talk about the biopic because it's out next.
It's out in February, March.
February, March, right? Okay. How was that? How was that? Like as a process, because obviously it's amalgamated with the documentary process, so it's all together. But how was that? Though? Once you've got the finance.
Sorry, with the documentary, you've only got sort of 3 or 4 people. You've got your cameraman, you've got a few other people. With making a feature film, you've got like 60 or 70 crew, and it's mad. You know what I mean? You're doing like 12-hour days. It's extremely long. Like you're getting there at 6, you're not finishing till 6. But I mean, that was like an eye opener. And you know, you're dealing with all actors. You're dealing with everyone. Like,
who's in it?
I'll tell you who's in it. Josh Hellman, who's in Mad Max, X-Men, Jack Reacher, he's in a thing called Wayward Pines. He's playing the lead, he's playing Lenny Mclean. We always wanted someone non-English to play the part because we didn't want it to be a Cockney Fug Fest, if you know what I'm saying. We went, hello mate, hello geezer, we didn't want that. So we wanted a we really searched high and low and we found Josh, and he was a proper method actor. I mean, the first day of shoot, we had a camera test and he got there dressed in all costumes. It's period, it's all based in the 70s. Wow. It's only 2 or 3 years of my dad's life with the epic Roy Shaw fights. And he came in dressed in the clothes with the sideburns, the hair, you know, and you could hear a pin drop. It was like 40 or 50 of us all chatting and talking, the cameramen, staff, everyone you can think of. And he walked in and he just looked like him. And he actually talked, and he's Australian, living in America, playing Cockney. You know what I mean? It's the man, it's like, but I always wanted to make a stylish movie. I didn't want to make a Cockney Fug Fest. I never wanted to do that. And you know, and that's why we got him to play the lead. And obviously, because you're a combat show, we had Michael Bisping to play Roy Shaw. Right. I mean, I was a little bit concerned because I knew he had the big fight last week, and he only had like sort of 5 or 6 weeks to prepare because the filming was like 12-hour days. But his intensity, and you know, like he didn't even take his foot off the pedal once. He was so good at it. You know what I mean? Even his Cockney accent was really good. You know what I mean as well.
He was buzzed for the part. I mean, I was with him in. When he won his title, and we was talking the day after he won his title, and he was like,
"The genuine win.
You're not going to believe this, but I've had a call to play Roy Shaw in the film," and I was like, "I know Jamie," and it was just small world, and but he was absolutely buzzed about it from day one. You know, to play that role. But he always messes around with the London accent anyway. Yeah. He always takes the piece.
He's from Bethnal Green.
Yeah, he's originally from...
that was really weird. But, you know, I mean, a couple of the scenes, I can't really say too much about it, a couple of the sort of dream sequences, he was playing the drums and he cut his finger. And I thought, no, because I knew he had the big fight with Mendelsohn, you know what I mean? But when you're that age, what he is and doing the MMA, you know your own body. You've been in the game so long, you know how much time you need to train, what you're eating. You know what I mean? He knew all that. He was so professional. And he was finishing sort of at 6 o'clock, and he was going to the gym till 8, 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
every day. It was amazing. You know, to see. I was really concerned, but because we were filming in 120-degree heat, because we was in a working man's club. There's 200 extras, and it was just so hot, and all the extras had like wigs on, leather coats, moustaches, and all the extras come for free. We didn't use them for a casting agent. Well, there was all of my dad's fan pages, and they come down. They were so enthusiastic. They come from Manchester, Scotland, Liverpool, Wales. They all come at their own expense, and they were so enthusiastic. It was unbelievable.
That's brilliant. I mean, there's a legacy in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, that's 500 from the whole of the 4 weeks. It must have 500 extras. All come at their own expense. All fans of my dad's.
So you've got people genuinely invested in the, you know, they're not just the history and the story of your dad. Now they've got a way of really partaking in the future of how that story is told. That's fantastic.
Yeah, because on Facebook he's got like a memorial page, and he's also got an official page. And I mean, and they all done it through there. literally my wife, literally was on the phone for like 8 hours a day ringing people up, mate, because you can't just all turn up, you've got their measurements, you've got a photo.
Sure.
But unfortunately, when you post something like that on Facebook, we need extras, we need your photograph and number, they end up inboxing you. Oh, when is it? What time is it? What do you need? But I've just put it on the page. But you get like, and I was 2 o'clock in the morning, I hear ping, ping, ping. I'm going down on my phone, it's like people like, he's just mad, you know what I mean? And I said, no, you have to do this special email set up from. You know what I mean? Because I don't think people were getting the gist of what went on. But yeah, it was 500 extras, it was amazing.
Was there any particular scene that was difficult for you to shoot, or you know that you thought, you know, when that comes out on the actual big screen, that's going to be amazing?
The physical abuse, that was extremely hard. My cousin Martin Askew, who wrote the script, he played Jim Irwin, the evil stepfather, and then we had Little Len. It's not flashbacks. It's not flashbacks. It's actually happening in the present. But my old man, no one could see it. It's a really, really, really unusual take that we've done, and that was quite hard to see Little Len getting sort of physically abused by the stepfather. That was quite hard to watch.
What was the most uplifting part of the biopic?
The most uplifting part was walking through there the first day, and I knew it took 30 years to get to that point, because my dad tried his hardest. I mean, and he died when Lock, Stock came out, but if he was alive, it probably would have got made. But I'm so glad it hasn't been made, because I'm glad that I got involved and not some stranger, and they just made a complete mockery of it. Do you know what I mean? At least I was involved, my cousin was involved, and Paul also produced it and helped write the script. We knew we wanted from day one, we wanted a stylish movie, you know, we wanted something a little bit special. I'm not saying it is special, I'm not saying people might not like it.
You can say it's special, Jamie.
Yeah.
It's special to you, mate. It's special. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it's a journey, and you know, it was a very long journey. It's a 30-year journey to get this film made. I know, and 2 weeks before we nearly lost it, we had to make a lot of sort of contingency plans. And the funny thing is, no English people wanted to invest. It was all American money.
You're joking.
No,
Was it really?
one of a Patriot, one American company. No English people wanted to know.
What did that make you feel like?
It's virtually impossible to get independent films off the floor. Don't matter, unless you make one for a couple $100,000, you make all throw in a little bit and then make a load of crap and sell it on DVD. Yeah, you can make a film. But if you want to make something that goes into the cinemas, you know, it costs you a couple of $1 million.
With a proper gloss on it.
Yeah.
Proper gloss. You know, we had to, you know, you've got to fly an American actor, like an Australian actor, you've got to fly him over, you've got to put him up, you've got to put him up. It's a lot goes into it. But what you do is, when you make these films now, I mean, you know, what you do, you get a lot of apprentices. So you get like the makeup girl, and she'll get like 5 apprentices to come along to learn how to do it. So they help, and then you cut costs that way. All the extras, say the extras are on 120 a day, so we've got 500 extras, that probably saved us 60 grand. You know what I mean? I don't like to talk about money, but I'm just saying a little cut.
No, it's good for people that want to get an insight into something. Like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it's extremely difficult to make independent films in this country. I'm telling you that, it's very, very hard.
Well, you're number one with a documentary on iTunes and all the platforms that's available on. Go and get that now. Download that,
on
watch
Sky as
that.
well, isn't it?
Yes, on
I've
Sky.
actually watched it on Sky last
Sky
night.
box office in all the supermarkets, and it's also on iTunes and Amazon.
Well, hopefully the biopic goes to number one as well.
I really hope it does.
Who's putting it out? Who's putting the film out?
Lionsgate.
Well, they're actually doing quite well with these independent films at the moment. So.
Yeah, I'm really happy with Lionsgate. They've really got behind us with all the advertising. They've been really, really good. I mean, but when you're going to these companies now, it's all young people now. It's all like young girls and young fellas. They
No,
don't really
we're
know-
just getting old, James.
Yeah. So, but what it is now with social media, you need them because they know what they're doing.
understand
You know,
it,
they
yeah.
understand everything about it. Like, I'm a little bit rory. I mean, I only just done social media last year, and it's been a bit mad. But you know, they're really, really behind it, and they do some big films as well. You know, they do some really big stuff. You
No,
know?
they really do. They really do. I know they're invested in UK talent quite heavily at the moment. I hope they continue to do that. Jamie, I know that you're a bit of a fitness freak.
Yeah, I like going to the
Bit
gym.
of a trainer. I heard that you trained with Don Charles. Is that right?
Don Charles is also a very, very good friend of mine as well. Don, yeah.
What do you make of the scene at the moment, the heavyweight scene in particular, but boxing in general?
I really, really like boxing. I do. I grew up with it all my life. You know, I watching Mike Tyson. My favourite fighter of all time is Marvin Hagler. But at the scene at the moment, yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. You know, Don is a really, really good trainer. He's probably underestimated because obviously Eddie Hearn's got sort of the format on a lot of the fighters now, so he picks and chooses where their fighters go. But Don is he's a good conditioner, wicked pad man. You know, he's a really, really good trainer. You know.
Well, you're going to give us our 5 fitness tips a little bit later on, but before we get into that, you do something called Orange...
It's called Orange Theory, yeah.
Orange Theory. Now, I've never heard of it. Joe's never heard of it. You heard of it, one? Never heard of it. Talk to us about Orange Theory.
Basically, Orange Theory is a run row base. So it's an half-hour run and a row mixed in constantly while someone's doing the groundwork. And when you finish that, you swap over. But it's a continuous training for an hour. So the groundwork, TRX, weights, burpee jumps, or you could be doing that and then you could be doing rowing. So it's in between. So it's a big mixture. But what they do, you buy an art monitor, which is sort of 30 quid. and then it registers to your name, and then on the giant screen in the gym, they'll have your name on it, and then it tells you your heart rate, how many calories you're burning, and you've got to get in the orange and red. So there's like blue, green, grey, orange and red. So you've got to sustain it in the orange and red for as long as you can, and then it gets you the extra burn after the training. So, but you can go, I mean, the minimum you burn 700-800 calories. I mean, I've done it yesterday. I've done
Minimum?
I've done
In an hour?
Yeah, I've done 860 yesterday, and then they email it you, and there's a splat point, so you've got to, it's how many minutes you are in orange and red. It's similar to like a CrossFit.
How did you find that? What was that? Was it your gym particularly? Or?
No, it was a franchise to the David Lloyd, and they do them all around London now. My wife went, because I want to remember, because I was like going to Don Charles, and she went, why don't you go and try it? I tried it, and I was hooked, you addicted to it straight away. So you'll go in there, you'll do a row, you warm up running, someone does a lot of run, but it's not like a normal run. You like, there's a girl on the mic, and she'll go, no, run flat out for a minute, so you're running flat out for a minute, and you do a run up a hill, downhill, running around, you know what I mean? It's a mad, but you've constantly got the art on, you're looking at your art on the screen all the time. There's like maybe between 18 and 30 in a class.
How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing it about 6 months now.
Now, you said before we came on that you'd lost a couple of stone.
Yeah, I lost 2.5 stone, yeah.
And did that help the whole orange?
Yeah, no, it helps it maintain it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I lost it by just cutting out the alcohol for 4 months, you know, just eating very sort of basic really, no like pastas, potatoes, and mainly it's the alcohol. I don't drink a lot, but if you go football, you have 3 or 4 pints coming. That's where the weight is. It's the alcohol. It's still crappy sugar, isn't it?
Liquid sugar, yeah. No, it is. I drink quite a bit. I'm not really on the beers, I'm on the rum. I think it's even worse.
Yeah, it's full of sugar. Really, really bad for you. Perhaps you should try and cut it out.
I am. I'm going to, because you've inspired me. A couple of stones. So what made you go on it? Did you just feel sluggish? What was it?
Well, I was always training with Charles. So he always trains the heavyweights. So obviously Ian Lewison, Derek Chisora. So we're like all quite big lumps in. And I just thought, you know, as I was getting older, I'm 45 now. I was struggling. We were getting aches and pains, and my calves were going. So I thought I've got to make a decision about it. You know?
Make a change.
Yeah.
Well, don't do too much celebrating when your biopic goes #1, will you?
I don't put the weight back on, but I always look in my jeans if they do. You know what I'm saying?
I know what your jeans, man. They've had the wrong type of balls in them. Actually, he's a Guvnor, there's no balls. Joking. Listen, we're going to move on to our 5 fit tips. You ready, Jay?
Yeah, go on.
We're going to move on to our 5 fit tips. I think the orange theory is something I'm going to be taking up, so without even going into that, I just think that I'm going to look up and do a bit more. Maybe Joe will do it with me.
Maybe we should have a day out.
Try it. If you go in there, first one's for free, they get you walked, and then, you know what I mean? But if you do 5
Is
a
it a
week...
killer session though? Is it
yeah,
one
I
of
do
those-
5 a week. Try and do 5 a week, but look, it's £75.
Like one every day?
Yeah, you can do one. So you can do 5 a week, so one every day. It's £75. It's almost like 2 for the session. You know what I mean? It's nothing. Use all the David Lloyd facilities, steam, and all that. You know what I mean?
Sounds good. All right, well, that's orange theory. That could have been one of his 5 fit tips, but it's not. You ready?
Yeah.
Normally I count you in. I'm not going to count you in today.
5 fit tips. Let's
Give
get
us
it.
5 fit tips. Start from the top. Number 5.
Always have a breakfast in the morning so you won't pick during the day.
Number 4.
Number 4, always do mix your weights and cardios together.
Good advice. Number 3.
Stay off the alcohol.
Number 2.
Try and cut out bread as much as you can.
I like bread, especially hard bread.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Number 1, always get a good night's sleep.
We hear sleep quite often, don't we?
Yeah, you need your 8
Quite
hours.
important.
We've had it literally in everyone.
Pretty
haven't
much
Important,
everybody.
most important part is sleeping in it.
If you want 6, drink loads of water.
Regeneration, innit?
Yeah, you've got to drink loads of water. as well.
Dependent.
Don't start Wong on water.
Yeah, water.
we?
Not you one.
Hashtag Wong on water.
He just put me off it now. I had to go back in the business. He just put me off water. Don't drink this poison. I thought, what? I'm going to come here.
Don't start it on water.
I'll have a little broadcast.
I tell you. Listen, Jamie, it's been a real pleasure to have you on the show, mate.
And you, mate, honestly, it's been a real pleasure. Wong and Joe, lovely to meet you again. It's absolutely fantastic.
First guest in the studio, main interview, and 5 fit tips. So I think we've set a new format, haven't we? Jamie?
We've got a new format. First guest. And I think next week we may catch up with Bisping, eh?
Oh, that'd be nice.
If he's off the
If
lash.
he's off the outlook.
If he's off the lash.
I mean, of that fight the weekend, that was just shows you. I mean,
Did he win it?
I knew he'd win it on points. I mean, I was going to have a bet, but I never did the bucket. But I knew he was going to win on points. Seeing him, he was so confident. You know what I mean? But with it, I mean, I'm sort of leaning between MMA now. I like it better than boxing now. I just do.
Oh, really?
I do, yeah. And I break smart to say it. I mean, I've got, especially when they play in America or play the other night, I'll Sky Plus it and get up the next day. That's my little morning. Like, no one's up. I get up at 6. I make myself a coffee and I watch my UFC. But this time, Joker, she's become quite friends with my wife. Become friends with Bisping in it. And I knew, but I mean, after the first couple of shots, I mean, just shows you what a warrior he is. You know what I mean? You know, he's 35 now. You know what I mean? I said to him, but he can always crack on the acting because he was brilliant at it. Have a couple more fights, then go and do the acting because he was really, really good at it.
Maybe you could do his biopic because it's a great story.
His story would be extremely good because he was telling me parts about his life. It would be absolutely brilliant. He would probably, he don't get funded in America either because he's really big at it, you know what I mean? And a great guy as well. A lot of people have these preconceptions of him, but you have to be a little bit cocky in that game. You have to
sell fights.
Yeah, of course you have. I mean, he's not as stream as Conor McGregor, but you know, Michael, I have to say, he had time for everyone. He took photos of all the extras, all the like cameramen, everyone. People walking the streets knew him. You know what I mean? And he was so humble like that. And that's why you look at it and thought, you know what, mate, you wish him all the luck in the world. No matter how bad he won, I really am.
Definitely have to get him on the show soon. So.
Oh, he'd be fantastic.
Guys, it's been emotional. We've had Jamie Mclean on here talking about his dad and the biopic. What's the biopic called? My Name is Lenny.
My Name is Lenny, yeah.
Out next February,
February,
March.
yeah.
Make sure you get down to see that if you haven't got the time. Download the documentary.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great watch. And this has been Combat and Strength. We shall see you next week.
See you next week.
See you next week.